I soon woke up and I was in a truck. There I saw my female teacher, Mrs. Shukurat, and my other female peers all crouched together and crying. The bandits were ready to go and were gathering themselves into the trucks. I looked at my peers and they looked at me with terror and tears running down their cheeks. They drove us into the jungle, and all we could do was watch as we moved into the forest. While in the car, the guy who hit my face kept looking at me angrily, and I tried to look away from him. When we arrived at their camp inside the jungle, they put us in the middle of the place and their leader came out to speak to us. He spoke loud and clear and told us we were there to be wives and give his men pleasure, and anyone who tries to escape or murder their husband will be killed. He reminded us every that anyone who tried to escape would be burnt alive and showed us the skeletons to prove his point. We saw some women there who looked like they had given up on freedom and were living normal lives, some with babies and some with blank, emotionless faces. He told us his men would pick us the next day according to their ranks and ordered we should be fed. The men gave everyone food, but I was still tied up. The young guy who captured me collected the food meant for me and ate it right in front of me. I didn't care about the food he ate, but I was more scared about making an enemy in the camp of enemies. That night, while I was resting on a tree, with my hands still tied, I was thinking of how my parents would react on hearing the information of my kidnap. The young guy who punched me in the mouth walked up to me with a towel and warm water in his hands. He knelt in front of me and put the towel in the water and placed it on my lip to clean my bruised lips. I remained still until he was done cleaning. Then he brought out bread and tea and started mixing. He looked at me and said in clear English, "If you tried what you tried in your school, in this place you would be put to death in a very painful way." And I believed him. I simply nodded slightly and he cut the bread and started feeding me with tea. Soon, one of the men from the bandits, a huge man, started looking at him and me while kissing his teeth and calling others to look at us. When he realized his other mates were looking at us, he turned to me and cut the rope loose. My hands were free and he stayed and watched me until I finished the food. He went back to his room in the camp and I moved towards my mates and my teacher all gathered in the middle of the camp. I tried to talk to them and ask questions, but they all looked unmotivated and dejected. I asked what happened to the men and boys of the school and they said they beat them up and let them go. I sat silently with them and we all slept there in the middle of the camp floor. The next day came by God's grace, the day the men would pick each of us to be their wives, and as they walked past us, they watched us like wild, hungry animals. I saw the way some of them looked at us in our uniforms like hungry beasts who would tear our uniforms and devour us in seconds. I saw a very huge man with dirty beards and scars looking at me and smiling.